In Illinois, going door to door at this hour, looking for information that will help track down the 3 men accused of killing a police officer.
They're also collecting surveillance from homes and businesses in the area. Lieutenant Charles Joseph Glenowitz, right there, was well known within the small community. He was with the department for 3 decades and mentored young people who wanted to become officers. The 52-year-old leaves behind a wife and 4 sons. And get this, he was set to retire in just 29 days. There is a vigil tonight for Officer Glenowitz.
And did you know the number of police officers killed by gunfire just this year rose to 24 yesterday?
And while the nature of the crimes against police seems horrifying, the country's response to it has been fairly muted. Our Cor Harlan is looking into this question of who protests when a cop is killed. Cor.
It's an interesting question. A lot of police officers are talking about this as well. I talked with Portland police officer Pete Simpson this afternoon, and he tells me that the anger and the hatred of police is as bad as he's experienced in decades. Gunmen shot and killed 3 more police across the country in the last week. We wanted to find out where the outrage is and why isn't there more of a public uproar when a cop is killed. August the 26th, Sunset, Louisiana police officer Henry Nelson shot and killed while trying to help a woman stabbed during a domestic disturbance. Last Friday, Deputy Sheriff Darren Goforth of the Harris County Sheriff's Office in Texas was filling his patrol car with gasoline when someone walked up to him and opened fire, and then stood over him and shot him several more times. And yesterday, Fox Lake, Illinois Police Lieutenant Charles Glenowitz shot to death during a foot pursuit.
It's disturbing. I mean, it's obviously sad.
Dominic Jacobellis is a retired Portland police officer who hung up his uniform after 28 years. He's now the mayor of Gladstone. He thinks the more police reach out and build relationships in a community, the less they're viewed as the bad guy.
I mean, they take on the job, because they care and they want to make a difference and they're trying to help people, and they put themselves out there every day, and then the rate at which this is increasing is just disturbing all across the board.
One of the things that's happening is there is a social movement that has emerged after Ferguson that has given people, especially people of color, permission to express their frustration.
U of O criminologist Randy Blazak says the number of cop killings by the numbers has actually declined in recent years. He says social media is the modern-day bullhorn people use to illustrate their frustrations with police. And he says those frustrations may actually contain the seeds of better relations with police in the future.
When we have communities that are built around police and residents working together, where police are outside of their police cars and they get to know their neighbors and they look like their neighbors. In those communities, there's much less negative interaction between police.
Now, Portland Police's Pete Simpson points out to me many of the good things that police officers do in the community, the kids' clubs and the gatherings like that, those don't make headlines. The transgressions, on the other hand, we see all those on social media, YouTube and all the rest. We see that for weeks and weeks at a time. And I'm told by Pete that often overshadows a lot of the good that officers are doing out in the community every day.
A police officer who was hurt in line of duty in Wisconsin just spoke out and said a lot of the job, I don't agree with this first part, but is 98% boredom and 2% sheer terror.
Right.
That I do agree with. I can't imagine what they must go through on a daily basis.
This guy that was pumping his gas the other day, just filling his patrol car with gas, and somebody walks up.
They shot him 15 times in the back.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's something else.
Thanks, Cor.